Percival Wolfric Brown. Dumbledore's got style.
You're just as sane as I am.
It's not tell lies.
Get away from my concert.
I've always felt our creatures lay outside the world of academic achievement.
Just because you've got the emotional range of a teaspoon.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to Retold, the podcast where I retell you my favorite story of all time, Harry Potter. And today we are covering chapters 3 and 4 of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I never take this journey alone. I'm always joined by some very special guests, and with me today I have the ones, the onlys, Jessie and Jonathan.
Yay!
Hi,
Hello.
you two.
Just your backup spares.
That's right. Spaz.
Don't
No.
kill us.
Oh,
So something you guys haven't heard yet, because episode 1 of season 5 comes out on Monday, and it'll be last Monday for the listeners at this point. But in that episode, something I was doing, I was hyping up my guest for the next week. I was like,
oh.
and it became like a bit where I was saying, this is literally the most special guest I've ever had on this podcast. And Bailey goes, that's kind of mean. What about all your other guests? And I was like, oh, they're one of the most special guests. And even at the end of it, I go, and you guys can't wait for you to meet the special guest next week. And now people are going to tune and be like, oh, it's Jessie and Jonathan.
I was about to say, was that the guest that dropped out?
They didn't. So they are going to be on this season.
Okay, just not this.
And it was just it was my fault scheduling wise. It was my fault scheduling wise, because the person, I sent them the chapters and I was like, these are the available chapters, and they go, oh, I'll take 3 and 4. And I was not expecting them to take 3 and 4, because that was going to be the next week at the time I sent it. And when I was like, sure, but just so you know, I need to do that next week. And he goes, how about chapters 20 and whatever? I was like, sure, I'll see you later in the season. So, listeners, I have with me my 2 most special guests.
Special spares.
That's right, my special spares. It's basically a Founders episode minus Emily. Emily is somewhere off gallivanting right now. I didn't hit her up for this, but she won't be offended because she doesn't listen to the podcast. Oh, I'm going to love it if she actually finally tunes in, Jessie and Jonathan were on without me? No, who cares, everybody? We're going. So thank you so much for joining us for season 5 of the Retold podcast. If you're new here, I go through the books, the Harry Potter books, 2 chapters at a time, recapping what happens, talking about my favorite lines, lore, behind the scenes things, discussing movie changes. And at the very end of the episode, we have a spoiler section known as the restricted section. Ooh. Or, as we're calling it for this book.
Oh, it's a drop. Oh, wait, I guess they've already heard it. But
Actually, I forgot last episode.
Oh.
And I was in there, I was like, I had such a good name and I can't remember what it was. So Futureberry's already told the audience they've heard it, but you guys haven't. The Department of Mysteries.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was
That's
between.
Not obvious at all, but a good one. So.
I was
thought real hard for that one.
Listen, I was between that one and The Room of Requirement,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
But I went with-
Behind the veil.
Ooh. Jonathan, listen, we might right into the Retold podcast at gmail.com and let me know which one you think is better. All right.
Fail. Oh my goodness, that's so
That's
meta.
pretty good. But if you want to support this podcast, you can do so by sharing it with all your Potter friends, even your non-Potter friends. Maybe they're into, people just talking about fantasy. Or you can leave us a rating or review on whatever podcasting app you are listening from. You can also support us on Patreon for just $3 a month, just $3, where we talk about the Hogwarts mystery plotline and every once in a while some random bonus episodes too. And you get to add a extra Quizzitch question. At least you can vote on a Quizzitch question. I'll review it and be like, sure, I'll use it. Maybe I won't. Right now, we have one patron.
Ooh.
And so I am using his Quizzitch question every time.
Yeah.
But anyway, without further ado, speaking of Quizzitch, let's hop into it. The first thing we do, listeners, if you're new, is we have a running competition between me and the guests who represent the world, because I pridefully claim that I know more about the Harry Potter books than anybody else in the world. So far, I'm tied with the world. I've been proven right twice. All right. I won books 1 and 4 I lost books 2 and 3. And right now we're off to a strong start, 2-1. All right. I defeated my wife. All right. So I
Wow.
got the drop on
You
her.
finally didn't take it easy on her.
That's right. Yep. We took the lead right at the beginning, but we're going to hop into it. I have 4 questions for you guys. You each have 2 for me. Let's get it kicked off. Jessie, ask me your first question.
Okay.
And they're based on the 2 chapters we're covering in this episode.
All right. I'll go difficult from the beginning then. Which book is Harry holding while he is packing his trunk with Tonks?
I knew that'd be a question.
You know it's me,
I
and
know,
I love
I-
my book titles, so...
I even have moments in episode 1 with Bailey where I was like, if you were Jessie, I would have asked you this. He's holding. Can I get half points? He's holding like it's like Quidditch teams of England and something like that.
That is very close, but there's 2 specific names, and England is not one of them.
Of Britain and Wales.
I don't know. What do you think? That's only half right.
I don't know what it is.
No, that's here. That's only half right. Do we give it to half?
Ireland and
Barry?
Wales.
I feel like that's worth half points
All right.
because he at least knew the.
Yeah. Yes, I'll give you. It is
What the
Britain
book
and
was.
Ireland.
Oh,
So yeah.
not Wales. What was I thinking?
Wales.
Yay!
Goodness
Half
gracious.
point Barry striking
Half point
again.
Barry.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you ever tell them about how we had that party
No.
and half point Barry?
We had a.
I don't know if that's gonna land.
Yeah.
but it was
Oh.
funny.
kind of
Hey.
you had to be there thing, but listeners, we had a party with a bunch of our friends
Made me so angry.
where one of our the hosts had a bunch of games for us, and we kept track of the score because it was like a running competition throughout the whole night, tallied it up, and at the very end of the night I did win by half a point.
I had 38 points, and half point Barry had 38.5
Yes.
points.
There we go.
After he stole all the points from my husband. Actually, my husband
No,
had
Roman
50
stole them.
points.
Roman stole them. Now I convinced Roman to do it, but only because he was going to steal from me. But it would have been foolish because Parker got more points than I did. All right, your question, Jessie.
Okay.
What? I think you got this easy. What did Tonks get top marks in?
Do I have to get the exact verbiage? She got it in disguises, and do I have to get the exact thing?
Well, obviously you get a half point because that's one of the words.
There are
Okay,
two words.
disguises and is it? Oh no, transfiguration. Oh,
That is incorrect.
Okay.
It's concealment and
it's
disguise.
concealment and
Mhm.
disguise.
Half point. Hey, good job.
Okay.
I like that. I
Ooh.
like that. Big fan of that. All right, Jonathan, what's your question?
Okay. What colors does Tonks change her hair from and to?
Oh, it's easy.
No, don't say that. I can get it wrong.
It's relatively.
Yeah, it's violet and it turns to pink. Bubblegum pink.
That's correct.
Yeah. All right, Jonathan, your question. So the score at the moment is 2.5 to 1.5. No, 3.5 because I got that one right. But
You talking about total score or this
total score
episode?
overall.
Okay,
overall.
okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep track overall because last season it just turned into me going, I don't know. I'm up by 2. I'm down by 1.
So you're counting you and Bailey's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should just write that down.
Yeah,
so
it
I
should
don't
be in
forget.
your notes every time.
1 to 2 at the start. Okay.
Listeners,
Then you. I'm not looking at your questions.
All right. What were you going to say, my listeners?
I was going to tell him to tell you to get your act together.
All right, then. What did Tonks nearly fail?
I know this
Okay.
one.
She nearly failed stealth and tracking.
That is correct. Ding, ding, ding. 1.5 to 1.5 out the gate. I like it.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Jesse, what's your next question?
Okay. Okay. This one may be. Oh, should I do a hard one or a funny one? It's always hard. Mm,
Can't help you there.
okay, I'll do
Something
the
you don't
funny
steal
one
mine.
because
That's a good
Okay.
point.
okay. What is the umbrella stand in 12 Grimwald Place described as?
It's like a severed troll's leg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which I'm like,
goodness.
that's disgusting.
All right, your question. Which rooms have Ron and Hermione already cleaned out?
Oh my goodness. This is one of the last things I read and I was falling asleep. The drawing room and can I have how many rooms I'm supposed to be guessing? Because I don't even know.
I would take 2. So
Okay.
it's basically two subjects.
Okay. I don't know. One of the bedrooms and the drawing room.
I'll give that a half credit because it's most of the bedrooms.
Most of the bedrooms.
and
Okay.
the kitchen, and then the next day they're cleaning out the drawing room.
That's right, because they're meeting in the kitchen, so I guess that makes sense.
Yep. All right,
Most of the bedrooms, the kitchen. Okay.
Jonathan.
You did, in fact, take the question that I was putting.
Really? Well, clearly
Yeah,
it was an easy
Jesse,
question.
show him some of your questions.
So give
You
him.
have tons.
I have, yeah. If
I
you
mean,
need
I've got
reserve.
another, but I'm
Jonathan's like, I got
this,
backup.
is
this,
this
It's just
too-
upsetting.
this is the one that I was on for maybe a harder one.
Well, that is definitely
You
a
should
harder
do
one.
it.
What is the question?
Okay, maybe I'll lighten it.
No, don't lighten it.
Last,
Just go all or
last
nothing.
week, Bailey hit me with a 5-parter, and I got 2 things out of order.
Go all or nothing.
Is that I don't know.
Or you could do
Or maybe we'll just half
this
point it
one-
up.
this
Hurt
one
me,
is also
Jonathan. I'm ready.
cool. The one above it.
I'm ready.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I have thoughts about that. Okay, I'll just go for it, and we'll see how Barry does.
Maybe half points.
Maybe.
We'll give
Or
half
dang.
points.
Quarter points.
All the wizards
I knew it. All of them.
come to collect Harry.
Okay. You got Remus. You got Mad Eye. You got Tonks. You got Emmeline Vance, Hestia Jones, Daedalus Diggle, Sturgis Podmore, Kingsley Shacklebolt. Is there one more? I knew it. Yeah, there's 9 of them. Did I say Diggle already?
Yes, you
Mhm.
did.
What?
Oh, I just keep hearing Doris Crockford from the first movie.
You said Lupin, Tonks, Mad Eye, Kingsley, Daedalus Diggle,
Yeah.
Emmeline Vance, Sturgis Podmore, and Hestia Jones. There's one more.
I don't got it.
Elpheus.
Elpheus Doge. Oh, dog breath Doge, as
Yep. As
Rita
Rita
calls
Skeeter
him.
calls
him.
Spoiler. Rat half point. Do I get a half point for naming 8 out of the 9?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, we're throwing half.
A half
points.
points in everything.
Everybody gets a half. All right.
Oh boy.
I won't be mean because I had a mean question for you, but I didn't do it.
Okay.
But here we go. Let's do, what was the knocker in the shape of
Mhm.
to Grimmauld Place?
Is it a serpent?
A serpent is correct. Ding, ding, ding. So I guess I think it's tied. Like we each got like 3 total because I got 2 half points and 2 correct. 2 half points, 2 correct, I believe.
I got both of mine correct.
Yeah, and she got
I got both half points.
Okay, then yeah.
very good. So 3. So the final score after this episode is 4-5. Not bad.
Not too shabby.
My difficult question:
Yeah, let's see.
what was Hestia Jones laughing at?
Oh, I wrote this down. If I had this one, I would have gotten it. She was laughing at hold on. So they were looking at the microwave and she was laughing at, wait, hold on. I'm going to get it, but now that I've been put on the spot.
Yeah, now that you knew for sure what it was.
I know. Oh, the potato peeler.
That's correct.
The
Ding,
potato
ding,
peeler.
ding.
Such a funny invention, these
Yeah.
silly muggles.
And then, listeners, the last question I wrote down, because I write down a bunch. What position is Percy promoted to at the ministry? And the answer to that was
personal junior
Yes.
assistant
Yes.
to the minister.
That is correct. Ding, ding, ding.
Nice.
And for your Quizzitch question this week, listeners, and the answer to last week, Future Berry will hop in right here to let you know what our patron Zach told us to say. Thank you, Zach. Hello. Future Berry here, popping in to bring you our Quizzitch question from last week, the answer to that, and the Quizzitch question for this week. Both of these questions brought to you by our patron Zach. Shout out, Zach. We love you, man. But your question last week was, what were the birthday presents that Ron and Hermione got Harry for his 15th birthday? And he immediately threw both of these presents away and regretted doing so shortly thereafter. The answer to that question is they actually got him the same thing, chocolate from Honeydukes. Congratulations if you got that right. If you got it wrong, better luck next time. Next time being right now. Your question for this week, dear listeners, is after the Dementor attack, Harry writes 3 letters to 3 different individuals. Who are those individuals and what order does he create those letters? If you want to answer that question, you can write into theretoldpodcast@gmail.com or message me on Instagram at theretoldpodcast. And if you want to submit Quizzitch questions every single week, well, you can by becoming a patron at patreon.com/retoldpodcast. If you sign up for just $3 a month, that's it, just $3. You can write in and submit Quizzitch questions, but you can also get other benefits such as our bonus episode that we do every single month where Jessie and I cover the plot line to the Hogwarts Mystery phone game, which has a whole lot of lore. Anytime you look up like the Harry Potter wiki and you look at the lore on there, you're probably going to see some Harry Potter mystery stuff. But not only that, sometimes we also do a second bonus episode every single month. Not every time, but sometimes. And then you also get special voting rights for whenever I put up polls about things I want to cover or discuss, and a few other benefits as well. So check all that out at patreon.com/retoldpodcast. Like I said, for just $3 a month. And 2 other quick things that I wanted to mention before we get back to the episode. 1, I did not include sound effects again. My apologies. I will do that soon. I promise. Those will come in next week. Just got a little too busy. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is that Jessie, who is on this episode, and my wife are both moving towards publishing their own books. I've read all of my wife's book. It's amazing. I've read a good bit of Jessie's book. That's really good as well. And so if you guys want to support them, please check out their socials. Jessie's is jsalt_stories. And I'll have a link to that in the description of this episode. And my wife's is b.e.watson.books. on Instagram. And again, links to that will be in the episode description, but be sure to check those out. They're both amazing authors, and you're going to want to see what they have. My wife has already made a Substack as well. So if you want to check that out and see some of her thoughts and things that she writes. But anyway, back to the podcast. And we're back. So that's the end of the quiz section for this episode.
So just before we move on,
Yes.
I did want to just test out how easy this question that I wrote down would have been.
Okay.
Because I felt like it was probably too easy. What is the order that Harry addresses the 3 letters that he wrote?
Oh,
right.
interesting. Okay.
Funnily enough, that is Zach's question
No
this
way.
week. That is his patron question.
Oh, well.
So, moving on now. Chapter 3, The Advanced Guard. Again, listeners, if you're new here, the way that this works is I will recap, hopefully in a fun and entertaining way, almost everything that happens in these chapters. At the very end of it, we will talk about our favorite lines. We will have a section called Transfigurations, where we highlight the differences that the movies made from the books. And then after that, we have our Golden Snitch section, which is a section where I talk about all the different lore drops or behind the scenes that the average Potter fan might not know about when reading these books.
Tids and bits.
Little tids
if
and
you will.
bits. Yeah. All right, let's get it started. Chapter 3, The Advanced Guard. We open up after the events of last chapter, with all the owls flying in, a peck of owls, if you would. And Harry's locked up in his room. Right now, he is writing a few letters that say, what the heck, man? All right, I just had a whole bunch of crap happen to me. I'd like to know some information. And he goes, peck them, Hedwig, until you get some good replies.
Mm-hmm.
He has a Viggo moment, a Viggo Mortensen moment. You guys know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know who that is.
I know who that is. It's
The actor that plays Aragorn.
Oh.
He kicks his trunk
Oh,
out of
yeah.
anger and it really hurts his toe. Everybody pauses the movie right there. One time I thought about like,
Didn't
well,
I have to explain
listeners,
that to
if you don't know what we're talking
no, you didn't
about,
explain that to me.
Okay,
there's
because
a scene in Lord of the Rings.
I sent that video to like one of our group,
Mm-hmm.
and because it was funny, and I that happens to me all the time. Like you guys explain that scene,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go, "I don't understand," and I'm like, "No, you
You gotta let
don't."
us know which person said that.
I know. I have to figure it out. I
That's
thought it
crazy.
was you, and so I was shocked. But
Yeah.
if it wasn't you, I wonder who it was.
I thought about at one point naming the podcast like, "Did you know?" It's like for dumb little thing, whatever. Jonathan,
Sorry,
were you
I
gonna
tried
tell
to help
us?
you out.
Yeah, Jonathan,
yeah,
tell
okay,
us what happened.
Jonathan.
I was just gonna say, for those who weren't aware, there's a scene in the Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, where Aragorn kicks I believe it's an orc head in
Mhm.
frustration, and he screams. And the fun fact is that he actually broke his toe.
It was a real scream of pain.
Yes, mixed with consistent acting.
That's right.
Really
and
did a
and
good
Peter
job.
Jackson kept it for the movie.
Oh,
Great
man.
stuff.
The number of times I've heard this recounting from all these guys.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that's just like a tall tale. That
Well, the
Yeah.
the other one that like it's unconfirmed whether it's real or not, but it's so famous is Lurtz, the orc that he faces at the end of the Fellowship, throwing the dagger at him,
oh
actually throwing the dagger, and Vigo actually blocking it with his
yeah,
sword.
that's pretty sick.
Whoa, I haven't heard that
I
one.
remember
I've heard that.
when I heard about that, I was like, I could just imagine everybody being like, "That was so sick." By the way, Lurtz, you're fired.
Yeah,
By the way-
because what if it went wrong? Like there have been people that were killed in movie sets. What was that guy's name?
It's sad. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't know.
It's sad.
A lighter sad thing, also Lord of the Rings
Baldwin.
related.
Baldwin.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin
Mhm.
shot someone.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
That's not funny.
But
Listeners, don't laugh at
apparently
that.
Gimli's face makeup was like
Yeah.
so much
Mhm.
that when he was doing choreography for fighting, he ended up just like hitting people
Well, not
because
yeah.
he couldn't hardly see.
couldn't.
You can only do it for like an hour at a time, and then they take. Listen, Lord of the Rings podcast summit coming very soon. Okay, so I wrote Harry has his Vigo moment, kicking the trunk and actually hurting his toe, and then I wrote down it's really more like a Kyle moment, and I didn't know that British white boys did that too. You know, like
Huh?
you know how like it's a they call
Did you
it
say Kyle or Kylo?
a Kyle moment. Have you heard of that?
No.
So like a slur for like a trucker hat wearing, monster drinking, like chain wearing white boy in the suburbs.
Oh, they call him a
they
Kyle.
call them Kyles, and they punch holes in the wall. You know,
Hmm.
Interesting. We call those like Chad.
It's
But
another
yeah.
word. Yeah, it's another word
Okay.
for it.
Hmm.
Anyway, enough with the slurs. My next note: poor Hedwig.
I know.
You know, because and even Harry feels bad about it afterwards. when
This
Harry, 'cause
this
he
just
comes in-
starts the Hedwig abuse throughout this book.
Yeah, he comes in with her frog, all happy, like hoot hoot, I did good, and Harry's like, get to work,
Yeah.
flies on out.
No time for your dinner.
Yeah, but they were I said they were bound to write back quickly, right? Because it said Harry goes to bed thinking he's going to be waking up to 3
Juicy
Yeah.
letters.
raw, wriggling letters. Lord of the Rings podcast coming very soon.
Yeah.
Harry basically is a prisoner in his home now. I wrote down he really needs to use the invisibility cloak. I thought about that the other day. How come he never busts out the invisibility cloak while it
It's one of the most underused
Mhm.
plot devices in
Hey,
the book.
That's what Harry Potter's all about.
Yes.
It's about forgetting the most convenient plot devices
Yep.
for the most of the time.
a la what happens later in the film.
I know. I
Uh,
hate that part so much.
I love it. Talks about at one moment. It says there Harry was laying in one of his apathetic phases. And I was like, that is a hard relate. Just
Look, I totally relate to Harry's melodrama here
Mm-hmm.
because do you remember times when you're 15 and no one understands you and you're just like wallowing in self-pity and woe is me and I hate my
Yeah.
life?
When I was 15 and somebody told me they loved me, I was going to believe them. Taylor Swift reference.
Oh,
I don't get it. I've never listened to
stick
Taylor
with Lord of
Swift.
the Rings for me.
Yeah.
I thought you kind of smiled. I thought you got it, but
No,
apparently not.
I thought you
I
were
thought-
referring to being a naive 15-year-old boy.
No, you thought I was just saying those words just for the
Yeah.
sake of those
Yeah.
words.
I thought you were telling me the truth.
No. So anyway, Vernon comes in dressed to the nines. All right, he's looking good in his suit.
Mm.
He says, "Hey, we're rolling out. Don't touch my stuff." And I like Harry has no argument at all, and it says Vernon's like very suspicious about
Yeah,
that. Like,
his dialogue is fine. Okay, right. Okay, you do that.
Harry's sad boys are hard, and I wrote down because on one of those pages there, I don't have my book open, but that he just laid there for so long thinking about nothing. And I was like,
Yeah.
how does one do that? How does one just lay there for an
Well,
extended period of
here's
time
the
thinking
thing.
about nothing?
You've exhausted all of your thinking in the 4 days that you've been chilling alone in your room.
And there was no such thing as cell phones then, because nowadays no one just sits and lays and thinks.
Yeah. Well, he's not thinking about
Listeners,
nothing.
Go home, lay on your bed,
Turn off this podcast.
think about nothing. Lost art.
So then I wrote down, then bam, there's a crash in the window downstairs.
Wait, I like this one part though. It says the empty house creaked around him, the pipes gurgled.
Mhm. You
Like-
can just hear the whole house.
Yeah, I'm
Operating.
like, that's creepy. You just hear your pipes gurgle. What are the pipes doing? I don't know.
They're gurgling. That's what they're doing. Then I wrote down LOL burglars because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry goes, I love his kid logic here. He goes, wait a minute, it can't be burglars because burglars wouldn't be making that
I
much
know.
noise. It's like,
They're
Harry,
not
I
trying
think
to
if
keep
they
their
broke into the
voice
house,
down.
I don't think they
Well,
care that
and
much.
also if they broke into the house thinking no one was there, why would you care about keeping your voice down? But
Good point. Good point. So the
Harry's
door.
logic didn't go that far.
So the door.
I thought it was pretty sound.
I'm
He
on,
was right.
You're on Harry's side. So the door opens, and Harry thinks it's a good idea to just stand in the middle of the doorway. You know, like,
Yeah.
like he got hit with a long distance Alohomora. You know, that's pretty good magic, pretty powerful magic, and he just stands right there. Not his smartest move. Moody tells him to lower his wand, and Harry is rightly suspicious. I love that. I love Harry calls attention to
Mhm.
that, going,
Yeah.
listen, I knew a Mad Eye for like almost a full year last year, and it wasn't Mad Eye.
Yeah.
I kind of have some PTSD. I know I don't act like it all the time, but it's really caught up to me this book. I wrote down, loved that. Oh, I loved Harry's happiness at hearing Lupin's voice.
Mhm.
And my next note was, bruh, where were you last book? Like, Lupin, we could have used you, homie. You know, you've been gone for so long. So everyone gets to meet Harry, and we get all the introductions. Lily had to have had some killer eyes because everybody in that group
Yes.
looks just like James.
Okay,
But those eyes, those daggum eyes.
I don't get why these people would not have already known what Harry looks like.
You know, it's kind
They're
of
like, oh, you're right. The way that you described him looking is accurate.
They didn't have
Whereas,
social
like, what?
media.
They didn't
were
have
on
social media. They had news.
but it's in person now. It's
Yeah.
in person. That is different from
No,
the photo.
but I'm just
You know?
saying, he's the most famous wizard,
Yeah.
and you
And
know,
he
like
was
he
in
won
all
the
the-
Goblet of
Well,
Fire.
Yeah, he was in all the papers.
They would have known that he looked like James
Yeah.
before seeing him. I just thought that
they
was
would they
slow.
would have, but I don't think it would have hit strong enough.
I think it's just the author's way of reminding us
They
every
really
time.
had some beautiful eyes. All right, so everybody meets him. There's Nymphadora. Don't call her that though.
Oh.
I love that Remus still calls her that.
Yeah.
He goes,
Yeah.
that's Nymphadora. Don't call me Nymphadora.
Nymphadora Tonks.
Nymphadora Tonks. Doesn't like to be referred to by her surname. Mad Eye, again, like that Harry's still suspicious of him. And he says, like, kind of odd to be introduced to somebody who I thought I knew for a year.
Yeah.
Kingsley, Harry has really sweet eyes. Kingsley has a sick voice, a voice like honey.
But you know what's mentioned the most about Kingsley in these chapters?
He's bald.
His shiny bald
His
head
shiny-
reflects the moonlight.
I was about to be like, that he's black.
Is it a trap?
Yeah.
You're like, are you race baiting me?
I know.
No, he's
In-
bald.
In
okay.
this series, whenever Harry's always like, oh, that person is black. It's like, Harry, you don't have to say it every time. The gold hoop earring. Gold hoop, he's got
Yeah.
that
One,
just
one.
one.
Yeah.
Elpheus Doge.
Oh,
And I love that Elpheus Doge is like, I've met you before. Do you remember? Because he was like the guy that shook his hand in the.
No, that's Daedalus
Yeah, that's-
Diggle.
Oh, it was
Diggle.
Diggle.
Because
Okay.
I have it right here in my notes.
Oh.
Emmeline Vance, Sturgis Podmore, and Hestia Jones. Somebody knew almost all of that in Quizzitch. Also forgot to mention that Tonks tricked the Dursleys into leaving the place.
I love that.
You know?
That was one of my questions, but I thought it was too easy. So funny.
So they, what is it? They're going to the. They think they're going to
It's
the
like-
best kept.
yeah,
England's best.
best kept suburban lawn
Yeah.
competition.
And listen, I know the Dursleys aren't the smartest, but I kind of thought I was kind of surprised that they were fooled by that, given that, like in chapter 1, it talks about how everybody's lawns look like crap because of the drought and the hose.
Oh,
pipe
yeah.
ban. They were just like, ours just looks less like crap than everybody else's. And there is a note that says they cheat on I got you, that they cheat on the hose pipe ban. So maybe that's what it is.
They secretly sprinkle their lawn.
And anyway, they hang in the kitchen for a second, looking at stuff. Mad Eye's eye sticks some. He's like, it's been messing up ever since that last guy had it on him.
Yeah, that, oh, give me a glass of water. And he just pops his eye out. It's like in the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, and Barbossa just like sticks it in his mouth and pokes it right in there. Lupin says that they got to fly out of there because Harry is sick with it on a broom. But first, Harry needs to pack, so he goes upstairs. Was this the part where you're going to talk about the trace, about flying?
yes.
Should we? All right, we'll do it when we get to the actual flying part.
Okay.
But first, Harry needs to pack, so he goes upstairs, and Tonks says she'll go up there with him, and I'm sure that Harry's opubescent heart is going crazy. It's with some 20-something-year-old witch going, I'll come up to your room with you. Listen, didn't nobody? Listeners had to
no,
think
I didn't
that.
have that thought at all.
She's a cool like chick, you know.
Well, and nowhere does it say that Tonks is pretty, which is funny because she could choose to be, but she's never mentioned as pretty.
Listen, you're a 15-year-old boy. You've been kept alone in your room for 4 weeks.
Okay,
I'm thinking Harry probably was like sick. Nobody else can.
I think Harry had a lot of other things on his mind.
I'm sure he did too. But hey, women
But
are
hey.
powerful. So they make it up to Harry's room. It's a mess. I would have blamed it on them, you know, whenever, because she's going around saying like how clean the house looks, how unnaturally clean it is, and I love she walks in the room and goes, this is better.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, I'm somebody who I'm not that clean, but I am embarrassed by my dirtiness. You know, I am ashamed of it. So I'm quick to make excuses about it. So when they come, I'm like, well, you blasted my door open, made me drop everything. That's what all this was. Apparently, pack is a spell because she says pack and points her wand.
There are a lot of instances, and like I maybe this is more in the movie, but where people just like use their wand and say for things to happen. It's not really a spell, but they're so magical that it just kind of does it. Molly Weasley
Non-verbal while saying something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying the wrong thing, but thinking the right one.
Well, you're like, this is the spell I want to happen. Let me just invent it right now with my normal words.
Magic is the realm of the imagination.
Yeah.
Now, I did skip a few things because I hopped right to the pack spell, but also we learned that Tonks is a metamorph magus. My note was, you trying to fart, bro? Because the way she changes, as it says, she like screws up her eyes, like,
Yeah.
and then she gets a different hair color. There's that awkward moment when she's looking at his scar, and she's like, he says, "Can you learn to become one?" And she goes, "Yeah, I bet you'd love to cover up that scar, wouldn't you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I would like to." Like, obviously. So they roll back down the stairs. Mad Eye bonks Harry and disillusions him, and they mount brooms. Don't break ranks if one of us is killed. And I love that Harry goes, "Is that likely?" But Jonathan, begin.
So Lupin sets it up, and he's very clear, and he's like, well, the only option here is to use brooms because, well, we can't use the Flu Network because they'll be tracking that, and we can't you don't know how to apparate. And so I don't know, this whole situation is potentially problematic to me.
Well,
is it because you're funneling magic through the broom? So you want to use it for magic?
No, I don't care about that.
Oh,
That's
really?
fine. What I care about is, you know, Dobby does a hover charm and they notice because of the trace and they think it's Harry. Here we've got tons
they've
of
used
wizards
Alohomora
that are
already.
doing all sorts
Yeah,
of
that's
spells
true.
in the house
That's true.
that doesn't set off any sort of thing as far as the trace is concerned. Also, the biggest hurdle that I had is side-along apparition, where all these wizards apparated into this house.
Did they say they operated in?
Well,
No, they broke in. That's why they broke.
came
they
in.
broke in, but I mean, we know that
I think they flew there because that's how they have their brooms.
Yeah, I think they
you can apparate with
You
broom.
could, but now we're in the realm of
It
Who's
doesn't
to say
say
they did or
that they
didn't?
apparated.
Okay,
like
well,
they could have
but
all.
who's his name? That's the evil. The
Mundungus.
Mundungus Fletcher. He
Mundungus,
apparated right
yeah.
there, so it's not like it's impossible to apparate in and out of Privet Drive.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that wasn't an option when side-along apparition is a thing. I guess it just wasn't a thing at that point.
Oh yeah.
I also don't even understand. Sure, they can track the flu network, but it's like, do they?
So last book.
Why
they
does it
set
matter
up-
if they know that he goes somewhere?
Yeah. So it matters where he's going because he's going to Sirius's place. If he wasn't going to go there, I don't think it would have been as big of a deal because they're like trying to keep that place secret.
Well, but it's protected by other things.
But they wouldn't want to be followed. They wouldn't want to be seen. And they wouldn't want the ministry to know that they were taking him if they were going to go to that place.
Sure.
Now, my retort to all the magic going on around there, again, not stated, but this is how I could see it working. As soon as he did Expecto Patronum in the previous chapter, 2 previous chapters, what I imagine could be the case is that the ministry had like people on standby, which means that like they knew magic would be happening in that area because other wizards would be around there. That'd be my way of fixing it. So with all these people doing spells, it wouldn't track.
Yeah, I still want to know though, how did Mundungus apparate away from there and no one like had any issue with that?
Yeah, that's the pickle because they wouldn't have had wizards over there yet.
Yeah, there's just it's sort of inconsistent. And it's sad because I feel like it's a missed opportunity because the constraint of we can't use magic here whatsoever is an interesting constraint. And they use it. She uses it a lot.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well,
this might be a plot hole
where, you know, you can have Mr. Weasley come and do magic to bust through the...
Though there he said he had already like alerted the ministry that he would be doing
that's
that.
fair.
Yeah. This might be a plot hole. I'll give it to you on this one.
I think so. I think definitely all the usage of spells in the house and the ministry isn't alerted is the biggest plot hole to it.
And if spells are okay to use, why not just have someone side along apparate Harry?
Yeah, because there's no way they can know where they're going to apparate.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they were detected. I mean, even if there were like, oh, someone apparated in there.
You'd have to grab them and go through the apparition with them.
So
I don't have much on that right now.
That's just
maybe
Future Barry will
say
come back
something
in. He'll be like,
when Jonathan can't reply.
This is how
Just come in and say-
JK explains it. I like to know, like, okay, so as a writer, there are things in my novel where I'm like, I have a very in-depth explanation for why it has to happen this way. I don't have room for it on the page. So I'm like, maybe JK has something like that. So I don't know.
Perhaps.
I did listen to a number of different videos on the trace and how people think it works and how people think it doesn't work, and it's like I'm not sure if that one is fully resolved.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh well, maybe it's, I don't know. It is interesting because the trace can apparently detect what spell was done, where it was done, and
but not who did it.
Not who did it, but apparently they know that the Patronus was cast in the presence of a Muggle. So can it know that? And then they're like, well, maybe it's null if there's an adult wizard nearby. I don't know. There's just some things that I don't see why they needed to take brooms, is what I'm saying.
Future Barry will hop back in, maybe with more of an explanation. If not, we found a plot hole, people. It happens sometimes. There's like 800 pages in this book.
Yeah.
Good point, though, Jonathan. So they get on their brooms, and my question was like, I wonder who shot the signal sparks, you know, because they're like, we see the green ones, then we see the red ones, and I was just like, or whichever order it was.
It was red and then green.
Red and green. And I was like, I wonder who did that. Anyway, they fly on out of there. I love that Harry is happy again. You know, anytime we have these Harry flying moments, he's just like, I'm not depressed anymore. He's on a roller coaster, basically. Yeah, if you want to get happy, people, go to Universal and ride Hagrid's motorbike. You'll be happy.
That was a Peter Pan
again.
reference. My son.
Thank you. I trusted that it was a reference. I just didn't know what it was. The ride is fun until it isn't.
Yeah,
it gets really cold.
This gave me huge Chamber of Secret vibes when they're in the car and
Yeah,
they're like,
it gets
"This is the best," and they're like, "I'm dying of heat," and this time they're like, "This is the best. I'm freezing."
Yeah, it brings back some bad memories for him, where he's like, "Last time I was this cold on the broom, I got attacked by Dementors, and I'm about to go to jail because of Dementors." Also, he LOLs at the Dursleys because he's like, haha, I bet one of those cars is them coming back.
So one of my potential Quizzitch questions was Moody's cardinal directions for flying. I read all those down.
I did want to say on the Dursleys, I think it's interesting. Why don't they ever modify the Dursleys' memory? They have no issue modifying any old Muggle's memories for any sort of
they
thing.
They don't do it if with Muggles usually that have a wizard in the family. Because think about like all of the kids who have Muggle parents and Muggle relations. They don't.
I mean, that makes sense, but I just feel like it would help Harry out. You know, like they modify. Wait, am I stepping on?
Oh, they modify in book 3, I believe. I think they modify.
Yeah,
Marge's
they
memory.
modify
That's what I was going to
Marge's,
say. I
but-
just didn't remember if that was.
I think
after. It's like they just go one more step further.
Yeah, I think it's
and
because
modify Vernon's memory
yeah.
so he can be happy.
I think it's because they already know about magic and that it's
Yeah.
real, and so they don't. They're like,
There'd be
they're
no
not going to
reason,
do more work than necessary.
right? There'd be no reason other than to help Harry out. So it's not like a international secrecy statute of secrecy issue. It's just a poor Harry, your life sucks issue.
I just think it's funny, like they all the end of Harry getting away from them every year is like this big dramatic thing, and here it's this. Well, we had to do this little trick to get you to leave the thing, and then you'll be disappointed, and you'll be driving home angry. And it's like you've got magic. There are other ways that you could have. You know,
I don't know. I think it was funny, and I like it for the comedic element.
I do like that. I just was thinking, you know, you could help a boy out and just
every once in a while. And that's
wipe that away.
No harm done. Ministry doesn't send people to Azkaban for blowing up their hats. Finally, they descend to a small town square. Moody whips out the
which I don't
unlighter.
get.
As they call the unlighter at first.
So they make all of this issue of not being seen, but you land 10 people now with Harry descend on brooms into a square in the middle of London and no one sees them.
I trust Moody's eye to catch everything around there.
But then he takes out all the lights afterwards.
So, but it makes it sound like they like land in the grass.
Yeah.
And then to approach the street, like, and get to the door. That's what they do.
Sounds like they needed someone who was already there to just go ahead and get all the lights on.
Guys, quit ruining my favorite series. Anyway, Harry is then given a note. I wanted to focus on that more. They changed the name of the put outer again. Like it's unlighter, put outer, and later deluminator. And I just think that's silly.
Maybe Dumbledore just kept the actual name close to his vest.
But they like. It gets a proper name in this chapter. Like when it's called Unlighter, it's not a proper name. But then in like literally a paragraph later, it's called Put Outer in the proper name form. It's at the very end of the chapter. Anyway, Harry is then given a note from Moody that says the location or the headquarters of the Order of the Phoenix is at 12 Grimmauld Place. And that's the end of the chapter. Yay! Moving on now to our favorite lines. So this is the part of the show where we talk about our favorite lines from this past chapter.
It's quite aptly named.
It is. Jonathan, do you have yours ready?
Yeah. I liked when Harry is really sad. The language that
I liked when Harry was really sad.
is used to describe that. When he is thinking of nothing, suspended in misery.
No.
I just thought that was well written and gave you a good feel.
Misery. You know what I'm from?
I do know that.
Okay. I knew I'd get a reference sooner or later. Very good. Jessie, what's one of your favorite lines?
All right. One of mine is Harry talking to Lupin when Lupin says, Harry, I've left a letter telling your aunt and uncle not to worry.
Yes.
They won't, said Harry, that you're safe. That'll just depress them. And you'll see them next summer. Do I have to?
Yes, I love that exchange. That's great. Similarly, mine comes from Harry speaking to Moody. Moody starts the conversation. Don't put your wand there, boy, roared Moody. What if it ignited? Better wizards than you have lost buttocks, you know. Who do you know who's lost a buttock? The violet-haired woman asked Mad-Eye. And I love my favorite part, interestedly. Like she goes,
yeah.
Who do you...
Like she really wants to know.
Now, here's the thing. Mad-Eye has a peg leg. Maybe he lost the buttock.
He was neglecting his elementary wand safety.
Jonathan, do you have any more?
I was going to point out that one.
Yeah.
I mean, just throughout, I love the Tonks Mad-Eye interactions where she's kind of giving him some cheek and pushing back against him. It's pretty good.
Did you have another one, Jessie?
Yes, I have two interconnected ones, but I love the imagery when Moody is putting the disillusionment charm on him, and he describes it as had smashed an egg there. Cold trickles seemed to be running down his body from the point the wand had struck. And then when he looks at himself again, he says he seemed to have become a human chameleon. And so I just thought that was like a really cool way of describing that spell. And she does that a lot when Harry apparates or takes a port key. She always describes the sensations that spells cause. So I like that.
So you took one of my other favorite lines about they won't. That'll just depress them, all that.
Yeah.
But I love when Harry goes to fly. Harry kicked off from the ground. The cool night air rushed through his hair as the neat square gardens of Privet Drive fell away, shrinking rapidly into a patchwork of dark green and blacks, and every thought of the ministry hearing was swept from his mind as though the rush of air had blown it out of his head. He felt as though his heart was going to explode with pleasure. He was flying again, flying away from Privet Drive as he'd been fantasizing about all summer. He was going home. For a few glorious moments, all his problems seemed to recede into nothing insignificant in the vast starry sky. That's good writing.
Yeah, beautiful.
Good stuff.
I have one that is just funny, but are you mad, Mad-Eye?
Yeah. It's like all the serious said seriously. It's like,
yeah.
That's all mine. Jonathan, did you have any more?
Yeah, I do like, we kind of pointed it out earlier, but and it's when he is short with Hedwig, and then it says, in addition to every other miserable feeling, he now felt guilty that he'd been irritable with Hedwig.
Yeah, I like that.
And
moment.
I don't know, we
It was a good
kind
character
of gets
moment.
into more of that idea in the next chapter too, but just the way that anger has this blinding, unreasonable effect where it's like you can know the facts, but because you're so emotionally charged,
and you can treat people some way that later you recognize you're like, yeah, they didn't really deserve that.
and then it just kind of adds to the negativity because you're then just heaping it on yourself.
Yeah, making it worse and
again.
worse.
So poor Hedwig.
Poor Hedwig. Moving on now, listeners, to our Transfiguration section. And these are differences that the movies made from the books. So in this chapter, in the film, the order shows up that night. In the film, the order shows up that night, like the night that Harry gets the letter from the ministry. In the book, it's 3 days later.
They
He's been
don't make
hanging out
him
there.
stew 4 nights in the movie.
Yeah. Harry, in the movie, hears about his hearing from Kingsley Shacklebolt when they're walking out. So in the book, he gets 5 letters that night, and that's in the previous chapter. But in the movie, it's just 1 letter from Falda Hopkirk from the ministry saying, "Hey, you're expelled." And then the advanced guard shows up, and Kingsley's like, "Oh, by the way, you're not expelled. There's going to be a hearing." Also in the movie, Lupin is not in the advanced guard. And then finally, there's a lot of characters missing from it, but the biggest one is that the flight is very different in the movie. In the book, as we read, they go up high into the sky and they try to avoid being seen very intentionally. In the book, they're like, whoa!
Yeah.
So yeah, the movie just whoa, just Mario Karting through the city.
They're like the most cinematic as possible. Let's get all these nightlife and cars.
Literally just on the River Thames,
Yeah.
just going past a cruise ship or whatever, little boat on the water. Yeah, they don't care. So that's the other very big difference.
More
in this
exciting
chapter.
filmography. Than
Yeah,
Up in
Moody.
the clouds.
Moody is not constant vigilant. There's a muggle looking up, quick into the cloud.
And so that's all my transfigurations for this chapter. Not too many, but just a few, just enough to wet your whistle. Okay. Moving on now to our golden snitches, behind the scenes, lures, tids, and bits. The first one. All right, I didn't find anything, but I wanted to shout out. There has to be a wizard who's blasted off their buttocks. I'm pretty sure, I read, I think either in Hogwarts Mystery or Hogwarts Legacy, there might be some, fake lore thing that's mentioned there. Because I definitely feel like I read about that happening to some wizard, but I couldn't find it on the wiki. The other one, I also didn't find much about the All England Best Kept Suburban Lawn competition. On the wiki, it's literally just self-explanatory. It's like, yeah, that's something Tonks lied about. And I was like, oh. But anyway, so 2 kind of duds. But the first one first real one I have for you is Metamorph Magus. Okay, a Metamorph Magus, or the plural, Metamorph Magi, was a witch or wizard with the rare magical ability to change their physical appearance, while most of the wizarding population required Polyjuice Potion, Fluxweed Syrup, whatever that is, or a human transfiguration spell. A Metamorph Magus could alter their form through sheer will alone.
You harvest Fluxweed in Hogwarts Legacy a lot.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay. They are different from Animagi, and the Animagi turn into animals, not changing their specific parts of their appearance. And it is unknown if Metamorph Magi had to register with the Ministry of Magic like Animagi had to, as they did not choose to become what they were, while Animagi did.
Okay, I have a question. You say all these with Magi, but I've heard Animagus and Metamorph Magus. So is it both, or is one correct?
Well, I was speaking of the plural. Magus.
Well, it's about the A
No,
sound.
No, it's about the G sound. Because you say
ja or ga.
yeah, because you say G for both plural and singular. You say Animagi
That's like a J sound.
or Animagus. Yeah, I'm asking, is it a J sound or
I think I use
sound?
both depending on the weather. It's kind of sunny right now.
I've heard both, but I'm saying are both acceptable, or
Yes.
is one right?
I think both. It's a fake word, so.
No, well, it comes from real words though. It's not
Oh
like
my
a completely
If
made
you
up
posted a
word.
short of this,
Well,
I'm sure
'cause-
you'd get
'cause-
some heated
Okay.
responses saying no.
Because think
there's a right way to do it.
magic. So I always say it as a J, and then I also the Magi are like the three wise men. The Magi came from the east, that's like an Eastern thing. I'm just wondering.
Dumbledore wrote an article in a 1926 issue of Transfiguration Today examining whether it was possible for a beep to use their transformational abilities to disappear without a trace.
Man, I was really excited to see how you were going to say that.
Oh, no. Etymology in Greek, meta means change, morph means shape, and beep magus or magus means magic or wizard. So there you go. Behind the scenes isn't that fun. there's Hogwarts mystery lore, but that's going to be in our Patreon listeners. All right, moving on. Let's get away from this one. We're going to Scourgify.
Oh no.
I've always said Scourgify. The hand movement, it's the letter S. It the scouring charm, also known as Scourgify, was a cleaning charm used for washing things. It could also be used to clean out smaller Bundium infestations. This spell was listed in the 3rd chapter of the Book of Spells by Miranda Goshawk. Many wizarding families use the spell both for cleaning and punishing people who swore, as the spell caused human mouths to be filled with soap. The spell was also one of the few methods of effectively cleaning the teeth of a Leucrota, as they disliked having their teeth touched by a brush. What is a Leucrota? I didn't look it up. Futureberry, come back in and say what that is. Perhaps etymology. Perhaps the English scour, clean. Behind the scenes, the scourge charm, which is used to clean up ectoplasm in the games, may be a variant of this spell. In Wonderbook, Book of Spells, the hand gesture is a smooth sinus motion. I don't know what sinus means, like a letter S. The Scholastic official site lists this as the vanishing spell. Okay, 2 more for this chapter. 1, we got the locomotion charm. First time it's used in the series. Going to a little locomotion. The locomotion charm was a charm that enabled a witch or wizard to levitate an object a few inches off the ground and then move said object in any given direction without having to carry them. It was particularly useful for moving heavy items. This spell was described as basic. The incantation is derived from Latin loco, meaning place or set down, and moto, meaning move about or keep moving. And there you go. All right, last one for this chapter, the disillusionment charm. I'm losing it. I'm losing the disillusionment charm. The hand movement looks a lot like an eye, my listeners, just so you know. The disillusionment
Uppercase
charm,
or lowercase?
like a human eye.
Oh, okay.
That's
That's why I needed to clarify.
I could see the symbol on his phone, so I didn't even think about that.
The disillusionment the beep charm was a charm that disguised a target as its surroundings by making it take on the exact color and texture of its environment, effectively turning it into a chameleon. Wizards of rare skill, however, such as Albus Dumbledore, Gellert Grindelwald, and Voldemort could cast it to such an effect as to render themselves completely invisible. Here's a fun little history bit. Hippogriffs and winged horses may have been kept by wizards as long as they performed a disillusionment charm on them daily, as their effects were apt to wear off. So these horses and hippogriffs couldn't even see themselves.
That's sad.
So that muggles would not be able to notice anything strange about them. It was also noted that one of the ways to create an invisibility cloak was to imbue a traveling cloak with a disillusionment charm, although the charms on these cloaks wore off with time. And that's it for that. Yay.
Yeah.
All right, moving on now to chapter 4. Do either of you need to use the restroom?
I think I'm good to go.
All right, let's hit it. Chapter 4, number 12, Grimmauld Place. I got really confused because in my notes I wrote chapter 4, number 12, Grimmauld Place, and I was like, it's not chapter 12. Read ahead. It was silly of me. Anyway, chapter 4, number 12, Grimmauld Place. Moody burns the evidence because right away he has Harry look at the note and then he goes, give that here. Lights it on fire. Then, bam, a house appears as if out of nowhere. I like that Harry goes, what the heck is this? And Moody goes, or Lupin goes, just think about it. Just
Well,
think about
also
it.
he's like, "What's the order of the?" And then they're like, "No, you don't need to know that."
Shut up, kid. They lead Harry inside, and he notices that it's not the cleanest of places. All right, clearly Hermione and Ron have not gotten to the entryway. Which, if you're cleaning a house, you would think the entryway might be
You don't
step
need to
one.
clean all these useless bedrooms.
That's what I'm saying. I say is I'm literally contemplating how my entryway has a ton of stuff in it right now. Anyway, I wrote, why
is your bedroom clean?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wrote, why is everything shaped like a serpent? Because it's not just the door handle, it's
Yeah.
also the candelabra and the chandelier. Mrs. Weasley greets him and she says, you look so hungry. Too bad you can't eat right now, though. We're talking about grown-up stuff. You got to go upstairs. And she goes, he's here for the meeting. And everybody's like, ooh, he's here? And Harry's like, let me in. I need more info. Just teasing him. Everyone else goes into the kitchen though, and Harry's sent upstairs. I love Hermione's greeting. You know, the door opening, the scream, the hug, like the he's like, all I saw was
Bushy
hair. I also love too that she's just rambling, trying to get all this information out. Like, we're so sorry we couldn't say anything, but we tried to do this, but then Dumbledore wouldn't let us, and then you have all this stuff going on, and I really wanted to help, and they can't expel you. I've looked into it. She's like, done all this stuff to help him out. Like, it's so heartfelt. I really can get the message that she is like so sorry for him and wishes she could have done more, but has done all that she could for him.
And I dislike but understand. But Harry's like, oh, so you listen to Dumbledore, huh? You couldn't tell me anything because Dumbledore told you to. Like,
that's Daddy Dumbledore, Harry.
Like he would ever go against something that Dumbledore told him
That's
to
a
do.
good point. That's a good
Well,
point.
I feel like you really have to. I don't know. These moments where Harry explodes as he's about to are uncomfortable, and it's like, I don't really enjoy this, and I'm just like, stop it and see reason. But you really do have to keep it in the context of like, this guy he's 15 and he had 3 whole days sitting by himself in the dark,
stewing in bitterness
and anger. And it's like, anger has, as I said earlier, like this blinding effect where it's like, it doesn't matter if it's unreasonable, it's just you're being unreasonable, and that only magnifies itself in isolation, where he didn't have anyone to talk to about. It's just like, I don't know, I actually like the way that, at least this read through so far, I like the way that he's characterized and that he is real, because I feel like it's relatable, even though it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know.
I feel like I've definitely noticed that more now that I am an adult. And like when I read this as a kid, I was like, Harry, you're so stupid and annoying. But like when I read it now, I'm like, okay, like, no, he's not right. But it's a very valid, relatable, understandable, like all of his anger in this book.
I wrote down in mine, like, some people hate this scene, but I love it. Because we never get to see this much emotion from Harry.
It makes me uncomfortable, but it's good.
And like, here's the thing too, is like, he's right about a lot though. Yeah. Like the part where he steps over the line to me is at the end when he says, I bet you guys were having a good laugh at my expense. That's just teenage boy kind of being over dramatic. But everything else up until then, he's got a point. He's like, I did fight them. I have gone through all this. Like, he's earned the right to be able to have more info and to at least have why he's not hearing things explained to him. So I really enjoyed this scene, especially, Jonathan and I were talking about this earlier, the voice acting in the new audiobook. That voice actor, like in the movie, I love Daniel Radcliffe. I love him as Harry. But the directing for the scene, I didn't think was as powerful, because the way they had Radcliffe play it was, he's just kind of like hurt. Like, what about me? Like, what, Dumbledore doesn't trust me? And like it's more confused. Whereas in this one, it's hurt and angry, and he's just like the way the voice actor, like his voice cracks when he's saying these lines. It's so raw. Like, I love it.
I heard someone say, they're like, the voice actor for Harry, I'm sure it was one of your Half-Blood Prince guys, but they're like, it was so jarring to me, I couldn't get over it. And I'm like, I thought he did a great job.
He did wonderful. Two things we skipped over because I wanted to highlight these. Was one, I like that Harry notices, like, Ron's taller. I hate him. Ron looks taller.
Andy notices that both of them have the scratches on their hands from Hedwig. And he's like, I don't even feel bad about it.
And
well, at least he eventually gets there when he works himself up. First he's like, oh,
did I do that?
Oh, sorry.
I also like that Hedwig just chills on his shoulder for a bit too. He's walking around like a pirate. And then when he starts yelling, that's when she flies.
To the wardrobe. I almost asked that as a question. She came to and from the top of the wardrobe.
Ooh.
She went to Narnia.
That's right. So my next note was like, Harry makes a really good point about the Dementors at the end, because they say, well, Dumbledore and everybody just thought you'd be safer not knowing. He goes, oh, really? Did any of you get attacked by Dementors? Fat load of good being protecting me did. Still had to do it. By who? By me. By myself. And then I loved when, so I wrote down, no, lied Harry defiantly. What's that line? Hermione asks him a question and he's like, no, even though
if he's concerned
if
about
he's
the
worried.
hearing.
Yeah, I love that way. No, not at all. I fought Dementors.
I can fight the Ministry.
So we get a little more build up, and then we get the all caps rant, as we mentioned. Voice actor crushes it.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe never hit all caps in the movie.
Yeah. We were joking around about that of like, I'll mention this in Transfiguration, but it's just so funny that in the movie, he says like almost some of these same lines, and then Fred and George show up and go like, whoa, calm down, Harry. Even though his voice never gets above this.
Yeah.
People 50 miles away that might not have heard you.
I also love throughout my pen just moved. I also love throughout the scene the buildup of Hermione's tears. Like it starts off with her
that's so
voice, and then you see the
sad.
tears in the eye, like they're getting watery, and then they're spilling over.
Because I'm sure Hermione feels so guilty too.
Yeah. So the rant ends, and I love Ron jumping to answer like the first question he can. You know, Harry's like kind of like, so what is this place? And Ron goes, this is Grimmauld Place.
If you notice,
I know that one.
all of their dialogue, the number of times she uses quickly, hurriedly, as fast as they can, they're just like spewing all their guts to him.
Yeah, she does a really good job of writing it so that you can see how they're walking on eggshells. Like they knew this was going to happen, and they're like trying to be as gentle as possible, and
yeah,
it's well written in that way.
There's so many times throughout the series that there's a line that is similar to Ron and Hermione looked at each other as if they discussed this before, and that they knew he would react.
And just the repeated we know that, Harry. We know that, Harry. Like when he's like, who do they think I don't like being famous and have it. We know that, Harry.
That bowler. Who do you think you are? I am. So they talk about the Order of the Phoenix just a little bit. And the Order of the Phoenix, it's a small group of resistance fighters led by Dumbledore to go against Voldemort. We learn that they are trying to recruit people, they're trying to get info, and they're trying to guard something. And I like that Harry goes, couldn't have been me, was it? And I was like,
oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, which is funny because
don't you, Jessie? Restricted section. All right. Anyway, we also learned about extendable ears, flesh-colored strings.
I thought this was funny because Harry desperately wants to know what's going on, and he finally is like, "What's going on with Voldemort?" And then they're about to explain what they know, and Ron's like, extendable ears. Fred and George made these so we can try to
I think he's probably building up to, let's go use them and try.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that Hermione is like, oh, well, we've pieced up some things, and she's gonna start explaining the context that he wants.
Yeah.
And it's like, let me introduce this thing to you, extendable ears.
Ron doesn't have the answers, but he knows how to get them. Whether it's to go to Hermione, go to Fred and George. So Harry says, so what have you all been doing since you're not in the meetings? And they're like, oh, we're just doing some spring cleaning. Just sprucing up the place. And what rooms have they cleaned, Jessie?
most of the bedrooms and the kitchen.
That's correct. Ding, ding, ding. Fred and George pop in. And I love Harry's like, so you two passed your apparition test then, said Harry grumpily. Keep it up. Go longer, Harry.
Voice actor, the Fred's line when he says, with distinction.
Yes.
I love that. It was pretty good.
Jenny walks in too and says, yeah, you can't use the extendable ears. Why is that, Jonathan?
Well, because an imperturbable charm has been put on the... Yeah. Man, you talk about pronunciation of one word, and the rest of the time you just can't say anything.
That's right. She's been flicking dung bombs at it, but they're bouncing off. We learned that Snape is in the Order too, and nobody there seems to like that. They're all like, Snape sucks. Bill is giving Fleur some private English lessons. My note is nice. Charlie is in the order, but George says that Dumbledore is keeping him in Romania because, well, the reader's going to be introduced to a whole lot of other characters this book, and Charlie drew the short straw. So he's got to be
you
kept
don't
out
ever
of there.
really need to be Charlie.
What did I write down?
I think it's funny. It's like Charlie gets to gather foreign wizards, but Bill in Egypt, we didn't need him to gather any Egyptians.
Yeah.
He just came home.
Romania.
Oh, wait. No, Charlie's in Romania. What did
That's
I
what
say?
that was me trying to add on to the
Oh.
Charlie thing, not correcting
Oh,
the
okay.
Egypt
Okay.
thing. That was poorly said. Poorly said. We find out that Percy sucks. Harry's shocked that Percy was like promoted. I love that because Harry's like, even Harry goes, bro, can't see through this ruse. You know, like because Harry goes, so they promoted him after the trash job he did last year of keeping track of his boss.
When he didn't notice his boss was being controlled by Voldemort?
So let's make him the assistant to the Minister for Magic when he couldn't like keep a good handle on his like even less important boss. Harry's like, how does he not? That's crazy. Percy, apparently we find out he insulted his pops, says, hey, you're a bum. All right. You ain't motivated.
That's why we're poor.
Percy believes the prophet, I suppose. That's what they all say. And Harry's like, what about the prophet? And so this is when like we find out Harry's mistake. He has not been reading the prophet all the way through.
And that just seems so unreasonable to me. It really does. Harry is literally laying it like under the window trying to hear the Muggle news.
You don't have anything else better to do. You're in your bedroom locked up for 4 days. You didn't
and you're like,
read the prophet.
It wasn't in the front. It wasn't in the headline. So
I guess the defense would be like, he hates the ministry right now. They're not paying attention. They're not listening. So he figures, he's like, I don't want to read the prophet. I don't want to see what they have to say. I want to know that I want to hear them admit they were wrong. And if they're going to do that, it'll be front page news.
Only guys can do that. A girl is like, I need to read everything that my worst enemy is saying because I need to be.
I just think
this.
for how hungry for news of any kind he was, it just, I'm telling you, he's scouring that.
He should be. He should be. So anyway, Harry asks if Rita is helping the Daily Prophet, and Hermione's like, haha, no, she's nice and tame right now.
I wonder, does she have like another job that she's like, I don't know, if she's a journalist and that's how she makes money, and then
dip
she
it into her savings right now.
Wizards just kind of spawn money.
Yeah,
you notice there's not like
unless
4 wizards unless they have 7 children,
Mm-hmm.
Rita Skeeter's old money, she's old money. She got a lot. But the prophet, they say that they are running with the whole "you're crazy" thing that Rita came up with. Hermione's quick to be like, "Yo, I didn't write it, Harry. Don't get mad at me." Like you were saying earlier, Jessie.
No, we know.
All right. I'm shocked that the phrase "going to town" is used in this book. They're like, they're really going to town on you, Harry. And I was like, that I didn't expect.
Really?
Yeah. That seems like such a modern American thing to say, not like a 90s British thing.
Well, it must have been.
I mean, it had to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Had to come. I was just saying, I'm surprised to see that phrase used.
It's very interesting because as like the book I'm writing, the settings in, I forget the exact year, but I constantly go and look up like, was this thing invented then? Like,
see if it's like
when did this phrase or euphemism start being used? And I like look up the origin of everything because I'm like, did they have pens? Did they have parachutes? Yeah. I'm like, this character refers to it as a parachute. When were parachutes made?
It all goes back to like freaking Da Vinci, like because he created so many different things. Just then, Molly appears. Ginny blames the dung bombs on Crookshanks because Molly goes, "Why are there so many dung bombs down there?" And she's just like, "Oh, it's Crookshanks, just playing around. He likes them."
I love
like your hands are dirty.
Yeah, Molly goes, "Were you gonna say it, Jessie?"
No. The way that Ginny says it, it's like I forget how it says it, but it's like she just lied secondhand,
Mhm.
like second nature. It was like unabashedly or
Mhm.
something like that.
I also like the
Unabashedly.
follow up of when Molly's ranting, she just goes, "Oh, and Jenny, clean your hands. They look disgusting." So, everyone leaves the room, and the trio's left in there, kind of just like moods deflated, and they're like, they make up a little bit. It's a nice kind of, all right, let's get past it now. Harry, you had your yelling. We're good now. We learn who Creature is, the house elf that lives in this establishment, belongs to the Black family. They drop some eaves on the order down there before they go down. At least they try to. They use an extendable ear, but just as they like start to listen, the group's like, all right, we're done now, and they move on out. Anyway, Tonks trips over the troll umbrella stand, causing all the portraits to scream. We get a description of this horrifying, like disgusting, racist photo or portrait of this woman just screaming some like mudbloods, traitors.
I love the
blood traitors.
She says, "Shame of my flesh."
Yeah, she's talking about Sirius. And I didn't notice this. There's other portraits in the hall too, and they start to scream. And Mrs. Weasley, like, she gives up on trying to shut Mrs. Black's curtain, and she walks around like stunning all the others. I was like, I didn't know you could stun portraits.
That was very interesting.
So they're stunning all the portraits, and then it ends with Sirius showing up, telling the woman to shut up, closes the curtains on it, and then he says, "Hello, Harry. I see you've met my mother." And that, kids, is how I met your mother.
That would be a better ending to that show.
Oh, and that is the end of chapter 4. So moving on now to our favorite lines. I think I'll get us started off since I had Jonathan go last time. So my first favorite line of this chapter. Oh, okay, it's this Hermione one. He caught a brief glimpse of a gloomy, high-ceilinged, twin-bedded room. Then there was a loud twittering noise followed by an even louder shriek, and his vision was completely obscured by a large quantity of very bushy hair. Hermione had thrown herself onto him in a hug that nearly knocked him flat, while Ron's tiny owl pigwidgeon zoomed excitedly round and round their heads. And I just love that, like, I just love that moment. I said it during the coverage of, oh, they missed him. Oh. Jessie, what's one of your favorite lines?
"You don't want to bottle up your anger like that, Harry. Let it all out," said Fred, also beaming. "There might be a couple of people 50 miles away who didn't hear you."
Very good one. Jonathan?
I like the subtle, or not subtle. Harry glanced up just in time to see them exchanging a look that told him he was behaving just as they had feared he would. It did nothing to improve his
I knew that you would do that, and it doesn't make me any happy.
Yeah.
I loved this one when Harry first loses his temper after the first all caps paragraph. Every bitter and resentful thought that Harry had in the past month was pouring out of him. His frustration at the lack of news, the hurt that they had all been together without him, his fury at being followed and not being told about it. All the feelings he was half ashamed of finally burst their boundaries. And like, that's so relatable to me, when you start to pile up those emotions inside, and you even think to yourself, I shouldn't feel this way. At least not this strongly or this much. But like, you can't help but almost like twist that knife on yourself and create that. And so I especially love that final line of those feelings that he was half ashamed of. So I enjoyed that one. Jessie, what's another one you got?
I was falling asleep during this chapter, so I didn't write down specifics. So I don't really have any other that I
That's all right. Jonathan?
I was going to say that same one that you just did, because it's just very relatable and well written. And you can know that even though you're half ashamed of it, it's like, this is what's coming out.
Yeah.
And it's interesting with the, I don't remember if it's Fred or George, with the line that you said of like, oh, you don't want to keep that bottled up. Yeah. It's like, there is something that's actually fair about that.
Right.
It's
it is good that he is saying it out loud, I think.
It's good to work through it.
Yeah.
Not that he should be exploding and attacking his friend.
Yeah. Not necessarily to use it to accuse, but to like, my pastor and I talk about how like feelings are indicator of truth. Like they do point at a truth. The way you feel about something, that what it like indicates is this means blank to you. That's why you feel this way about it. And so it's good to dissect that and get behind that.
I have this little my first feelings book from a Christian point of view for my son, and I actually like really love the way that it explains things. And one of them is like, do our emotions tell us what is true? No, but they're meant to share with other people and then lead us to the truth. And so it's like your emotions don't necessarily tell you what is true, but then you work through them and then you figure out what you need from that.
Yeah. Another way to say it might be they tell you something true about yourself, not something true about reality per se, but like something
about what's going on
in
within
you.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another favorite. Did you have more to say on that?
Yeah. I mean, I was just I don't remember.
Beautiful. My last favorite line of this chapter, they're talking about Snape. Git, said Fred idly. He's on our side now, said Hermione reprovingly. Ron snorted. Doesn't stop him being a git the way he looks at us when he sees us. Bill doesn't like him either, said Jenny, as though that settled the matter. I like that one. It's like my older brother really doesn't like him.
Well, I like that whole discussion because one of the things I always love about the Weasley children is how much they respect their father. And so when Percy goes and insults the dad, Arthur Weasley, then all of his siblings are like, dude, you're off your rocker. What do you like? And they all come to his defense and they all take the dad's side. And like, I just think it's really sweet how much Arthur Weasley's children love him.
Mm-hmm. That was all my favorite lines. Jonathan, did you have any more?
I was going to throw in when Ron says, that's exactly what we wondered, said Ron, who seemed very keen to keep normal conversation going now that Harry had stopped yelling.
Yay.
Conversations.
And that wraps up our favorite lines. Is that right? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Empty the tank. That wraps up our favorite lines. Moving on now to our transfigurations for chapter 4. So the first one I have here, let's see. As we've mentioned, Harry is a lot calmer in the movie. He's still hurt. All right. But the way they directed Daniel was to just sort of be like more confused than angry, at least at this point in the movie. They do have extendable ears in the movie, although two things are different about them. One, in the book, they're just a long thread. There's no ear at the end. It's just a long flesh-colored thread.
Really?
In the movie, there's an ear at the end.
I've always just inserted the ear into my book reading.
Yeah. And the other one is that they do use the ear in the movie. Like there's no imperturbable charm placed on the door. Crookshanks comes along. Instead of playing with dung bombs, he plays with the ear. There is no Fidelius charm, at least seemingly, on Grimmauld Place, because when they show up, nobody tells Harry where they are or what they're doing. Mad-Eye just taps his staff and the buildings separate. So there's no paper handed to Harry. Nobody says anything about it.
Which is funny because then in the 7th movie, it is under the Fidelius charm.
Yeah. And then there's some of the omissions from it is there's no Bill and Fleur. Like they, at least not at this point, they don't hint at that. They don't talk about their relationship there. And they also don't mention Percy and his like betrayal in the movie. Last thing to mention is that the picture is there in the movie, like the picture of Mrs. Black, but she stays covered up the whole time. And all you see of her is like when Harry's going up the stairs to first see Ron and Hermione, he passes Creature on the stairs and Creature walks past him. They kind of just like look at each other. And then Creature gets to the portrait and the portrait has the curtains over it, but like there's like an inch or two of the portrait on the bottom. And you can, especially have captions on, you can see what is said, but you hear her saying like mudbloods and traitors and Phil, like what was shame of my flesh or something.
Flesh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's all I got for transfigurations for this section. Because a lot moves on to the next part. All right, moving on now to our golden snitches. So the first one is extendable ears. Here we go. It is a Weasley's Wizard Wheezes product made by Fred and George Weasley. They were long, flesh-colored pieces of string which one can insert in one's ear, then shove the other end under, for example, a door, and one will hear the conversation or other noise as clear as if it were a mere foot away, unless that door has been imperturbed.
Ooh.
Long story short, they just like made a magic version of the cups and the string that we did in elementary
Yeah.
school, you know? So not that creative, honestly.
I think they may work better than the cans on the strings, though.
I don't think so. I made a pretty good can on a string. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter Universal sells extendable ears as a novelty electronic toy. It amplifies sound from up to 12 feet away.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's really all I got for that.
Does
So-
it have an ear at the end of it?
It does have an ear at the end of it, so they went with the movie version. Next one, the Imperturbable Charm. The Imperturbable Charm was a charm that created an invisible magical barrier around an object, such as a door. Objects would bounce off the barrier and it also, Jesse, muffled sounds like the Muffliato charm. An object enchanted in this manner was said to have been imperturbed. Let's see, any behind the scenes I wanted to say? No. That's it for Imperturbable Charm. Moving on now to the last one of this chapter. We have the no, that was it. I did have apparition tests as a potential golden snitch, but I was like, they kind of get really into that later.
Yeah,
So,
that's a
I'll
big
save
part
I'll
in
save
the-
it for another chapter. But it is mentioned for the first time in this chapter. And that's all we got for Golden Snitches. And that wraps up the main coverage for chapters 3 and 4. So, listeners, what we're about to do now is move on to our restricted section, also known as the Department of Mysteries. What did you call it?
Behind the
Beyond
veil.
the
or
veil.
Beyond the Veil.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're
Yeah.
dead. You're dead now. That might be like when I finish up the series, you know?
Oh, that one, yeah.
You know? But anyway,
Just beyond the veil.
yeah, you heard them too, didn't you? What?
Mhm.
So we're about to move on to our restricted section, which is this is the area, listeners, where if you have not read the series, if you have not been spoiled and you don't wish to be spoiled, get on out of here. What are you doing?
You
all right.
rare unicorns.
Yeah, run along now. All right. You got little kiddos that are excited about the new TV show. Don't let them hear this. At least, you know, they can let them hear everything else, but not up to this, but not after this part. Anyway, I don't want to spoil it for the new
Well, but-
gen, you know?
But they wouldn't have seen anything of the TV show yet.
Yeah, but it's going to come out. He's saying we don't want to spoil them. And it's
Yeah,
all
but then
going to be
but
new
then they
for the
shouldn't have
TV
listened
show.
up.
They
to
shouldn't
you.
have listened to.
Oh.
We're in book 5.
That's a
Yeah,
good point.
okay.
That's a good
I
point.
get it. I get it.
All right, you know what?
And
Spoil them
plus,
kids.
Actually, technology, people can listen to this years after. we
That's
actually
true.
record it,
Yeah.
That's
so.
true. All right. So when you're listening to this, and season 5 is rolled around. All right.
It's like
Uh,
a throwback
and
to
I'm-
2026.
And I'm famous because they casted me as one of the Quidditch players in the World Cup.
Which is definitely a route to fame.
Dude, I can't wait. for
Your
that.
big break.
That's right. My like 2 seconds on the screen. Anyway, I only have one thing. I just have one thing to talk about here, and that's it.
Okay.
So you guys might have more.
I gotta get my anger out.
Oh shoot!
Ooh.
That makes for.
You don't want to keep all that bottled up.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I need to get it
I
out.
know my baby
I
who's
need to
sleeping
express
upstairs
it.
might not hear you. Okay, so the one thing I wanted to mention was the part that I told you not to say. But whenever Ron goes, I think they were guarding something, and Harry goes,
yeah.
couldn't have been me, was it? It wasn't.
Yeah.
They were talking about guarding the prophecy, and that's really all I had to say. And not much else.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, the quality content, listeners. Jesse,
Jonathan, did you have something you wanted to say first, or should I go into mine?
You can go into yours.
Okay, I feel like this is a good chapter to talk about it because they're mentioning how Dumbledore is hiding all this from Harry. And obviously, we know that it's because Dumbledore suspects the links between Voldemort and Harry's mind. And even in the end, Dumbledore's like, I don't know that I made the right choice to keep everything from you and to keep Harry so in the dark and to not tell him. Because how hard would it have been for Dumbledore to explain his suspicion? And this is why I can't tell you anything, Harry. And then Harry I don't know. I feel like it would have changed the whole story. And it's very interesting from a writing perspective that, like, this is a potential Dumbledore mistake that causes the entire plot. But for me, I'm like, what if he just told Harry? What if he just explained things and then all of this drama could have been avoided?
So
I always think about that.
I think it's like a comedy of errors, and I wouldn't put it all on Dumbledore. I think there is wisdom in not telling Harry if you suspect this, if you suspect this connection. And because what he does end up doing is tell Harry it's really important to practice your occlumency. Like, you have to do that. And Harry doesn't. And the other error being Snape being the teacher for it.
Mhm.
But because of that, that leads to the issue at the end of the book of running to save a Sirius who isn't there, and then leading to Sirius's death. So, like, I don't necessarily lay it all at the feet of Dumbledore in this particular moment, because I think
Well,
if Harry obeyed what Dumbledore said as far as practicing occlumency,
but
that's the
I
key
don't
thing.
understand why Dumbledore doesn't tell him sooner than he does. Because he lets so many things boil and come to a head before he finally explains, I believe you have a connection to Voldemort and you need to practice occlumency. But even then, he doesn't, like, if you're trying to persuade a teenager to do something to save his life, he doesn't make a good case for it. Because he's still, like, super short with Harry. And I've dealt with a lot of teenagers in my time, like teaching them for 10 years. And that's just, I don't know, like Dumbledore is a professor and has dealt with just as many teenagers. And like, he even has a line where he's like, I forgot what it was to be young,
Mhm.
And so I do think that's a mistake, that he forgot what it is to be young, and that he didn't do a very good job persuading Harry of this importance, or even just explaining things enough to satisfy Harry. And I feel like he could have easily done that, and there's not like a reason in my mind why he couldn't have.
I agree mostly. I still think it's a
Dumbledore
not
apologist.
not
I'm
a
just kidding.
I don't think it's necessarily a 50-50 error, but I do think Harry is still at fault in the case as well.
For sure, but Harry's a 15-year-old and Dumbledore is a 128-year-old.
But so, hindsight being 2020, it's easy for Dumbledore to say, like, yeah, I guess I should have done this. But like, I understood the thought process, because anytime Dumbledore was around Harry, and it mentioned when Harry would look into Dumbledore's eyes, Harry felt that hatred.
Yeah.
So Voldemort already knew about the connection with Harry.
Well, not necessarily though, because he said he didn't realize it until the night that he saw Mr. Weasley. So Voldemort wasn't aware of it until the Mr. Weasley attack.
But I think giving Harry more info might have made that happen sooner.
See, I'm more on Jesse's side than yours, Barry, because
as is the case,
to me,
typically.
the problem is not that. The problem for me is that it doesn't seem logically consistent, the explanation that Dumbledore gives and the actions. So it's one thing for it to be, oh, I suspect there's this connection between the two of you, and I don't want to open my mind to you, so he will have, so that Voldemort will have access to, Dumbledore's thoughts and what Dumbledore's plan is.
It's not just Dumbledore's thoughts and Dumbledore's plan. He was afraid Harry would Voldemort would possess Harry. And it wasn't until Voldemort tries to do that in the Ministry and can't bear it that they're like, that's when Dumbledore finally feels comfortable enough to tell Harry everything. He goes, oh, it turns out Voldemort can't possess you. Like, he can't bear it for a second. But he was afraid Voldemort would do that sooner and still be able to control Harry.
Okay, but that doesn't change where I'm going.
Fair enough.
Because there's a big difference between even just the rudimentary questions that Harry was asking of oh, yeah, Voldemort's still undercover and the Ministry is covering it up. That would have satified him 3,000 times more than nothing. Even letting
you're talking
them
about this
send an
basic stuff.
owl.
Yeah,
I'm just talking
yeah.
about basic things.
That's what
there was
I'm
so
saying
much
too.
information that could have been given to Harry that would have posed no threat to Voldemort getting into Harry's mind that was withheld from him.
That's fair. I'm talking about information about the Order and information about the Voldemort connection. And
Well,
I'm talking about deeper plans.
I still think there's a way to tell Harry, like, this is my suspicion in a very short and simple way that would have been satisfactory.
Yeah,
and wouldn't have posed an issue.
Yeah, that's Dumbledore saying, I'm not doing this because I hate you. I'm not doing this because I don't think you're capable. I think there might be a connection here that Voldemort can exploit. And for that reason, I need to distance myself for you. Like that, even if Voldemort knew that,
I think he could.
That's not going to be problematic to the plan.
At the very least, he could have dropped he could have told Harry that there was a reason for why he was doing this.
Yeah, and
he doesn't even say that.
It doesn't even need to be Dumbledore himself. Like, anyone else could, like, because Dumbledore was afraid of being one-on-one with Harry and looking at him. But if he had, you know, as he often has, like Lupin or other people deliver messages too, like, I just feel like there are so many ways, different ways that he could have tried that would have been better alternatives to the plan that he chose.
Fair enough. I agree.
Yeah.
I would say that generally, I'm a Dumbledore apologist, but in this case,
yeah, don't get me wrong, love Dumbledore.
It just doesn't feel logically consistent. There's so much that was withheld that would have just been beneficial to tell him. I mean, even in these chapters where it's like, don't tell him anything. Like,
okay, well, all the stuff that Ron and Hermione just told Harry was like perfectly fine to tell Harry, obviously.
Yeah.
His only thing was that he didn't want it to happen in a letter because the letters could have been in there. Okay, there are hundreds of other ways. As Harry says, like, you're telling me Dumbledore doesn't know how to give information outside of a letter? Like, there are other ways, so, yeah.
I agree. I agree with that. Well, there you go. Anything else for the restricted section?
No, I mean, that's pretty much the main thing.
Anyway, that wraps up our discussion of chapters 3 and 4 of the Order of the Phoenix. Tune in next week, everybody, for our discussion of chapters 5 and 6. Are one of you on that?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's one of another friend.
Maybe.
Was it Jonathan?
Well,
I don't know.
I'll look at the list after this. Anyway, goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening to Retold. Artwork for this podcast was created by Rachel Ortlip. Music was created by Taylor Jarvis. And the Retold podcast is produced by me. That's right. I made this.